guys, my name is Skye and this is Miranda, and we are live and we are talking about or answering questions that you guys can write that you have. We have a list of those questions, but we do this because, well, people have questions. So,
Yeah.
hey, Miranda,
Hi, how are you guys?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Excited to talk about some more stuff.
There's always definitely questions, and I have a list here. So anyone can ask any question along the way. So here we go. What advice would you give to someone considering going raw vegan?
Wow, that is a lot in a question. I
It
would
is.
say, like, just to kind of start slow and try to explore new things, rather than trying to only like eliminate things from your diet. I always try to suggest people to always incorporate new fun things, try new fun things. So you're not feeling like you're in a you're not feeling restricted or you're not feeling like you're deprived of something, you know? Always make sure to
I
try new things.
I think that's amazing. This is coming. I just got off a live with JJ and we were talking about healing your relationship with food. And I think that is like what I was saying is like we've come from this background where everything is like restrictive and this is bad and we're broken and you can't have this on this lifestyle. And I really had that mindset where it's like, what can I put in? Like, and because it didn't harm me, like it made me feel good. I'm like, oh, there's fresh beetroot, that looks good, and fresh basil, and like adding health in before even completely committing um,
Exactly.
is like building that perfect mindset, right?
Yeah, and just like the way you see food, the way you see fuel, just the way you see yourself too. Like you have to see it as something that is exciting and new and is going to fuel you and make you feel good rather than like losing weight or losing your favorite foods. Just I try to think about it as like you're gaining something. You're not losing. You're gaining health, you're gaining wealth, you're gaining I don't
Yeah.
know. You're just gaining everything. I feel like it's just good all around.
I think that is so key. I really feel I built my life off that premise because as soon as I start restricting, my life tends to crumble. As in, like, as soon as I'm like, I can't have that, you can only have this. This
Yeah.
isn't going to serve you. Is my whole life starts to look like that. I get there's not as much work, or I don't. My health isn't as good, and it's But to me, how much of it do you think starts with food, like that we talked about? Because we talk to ourselves about food a lot, right? So we're saying can have this will feel good. And then well, for me, it seems that it just transfers across to my entire life.
Literally, exactly. Every aspect of my life changed after I actually started looking at food as fuel and I can have it in abundance, and
Mm.
I am not like strict. Some people try to call me strict. I am simply selective. That is my favorite word.
I
I'm
like it.
selective. I'm not restrictive. I'm not strict. I'm selective of what goes in my temple. Like, why wouldn't I be?
That's right. And I think when you do that, you become selective, like who becomes in your life. And even and you feel so much on this diet that even when you make choices, is if it doesn't align with you, it's so loud. It's like I start breaking straight away.
Yeah.
And we need to be like that with food. I just think that's so key. Is like I ask you basically how you become a raw vegan, and you're like, start loving yourself. Like just start being like, I love this. I know that you do beautiful smoothies. This smoothie makes me feel amazing. I love it today with extra dates, or I love it today because it's got strawberries. And like, because it really, we have to talk to ourselves so much about food. Is it
Yeah.
then we just become it, right?
Oh my gosh. Well, you are what you eat. Like when you
We
speak
are.
when you speak the goodness and like when you're excited, see there's so many people that like aren't excited about their food and in a way that isn't actually like going to benefit them. Okay, they might be excited to get McDonald's because it's going to be a dopamine hit for 5 seconds, but like you and we're excited because we know how it makes us feel. We are connected to it and it's colorful and
Yes.
just it feels so aligned when you eat this way and everything in your life, like it kind of starts to settle in a way that you want it to be, like you're constantly growing and like becoming a better version of you because you start with what you're putting inside your body and your
Yeah.
mind. I mean, like that is, I feel like so many people are missing that connection when it comes to food. It's just like there's no connection. You just eat it to satisfy hunger and then that's it. But it's so much more. It's so much more than that.
Yeah, I cannot agree more. And that's like even like I was saying just before that it's so amazing that you get to eat and feel so good.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say it's, it's your sleep and your movement and who you're around, but I had no good access to that until the food I put in was right. Like
Mm,
they were all just a pipe dream.
right.
And how they feel in my life is based on what I eat. Like and I say this, if I eat too much dehydrated food, I'll start to dread going to Pilates as
Mhm.
opposed to waking up and being excited. And then it always reminds me like how this is what it probably was like on cooked foods. Everything was anxiety and dreading it. And so then it makes me navigate back to foods that serve me. And then my life serves me. It's I never want to say that it's all about food, but technically it is for me because I can't access all the other things without the diet right first. Of course, once you get the diet right, you need movement, you need like being connected to nature, but all of those were just fantasy world. To me, it's like the gate. You it's the gate that opens then you get to pick all the extra natural things like
Yeah.
leveling up in consciousness.
Well, I was literally thinking, as you said, gate, I thought of like a key. Like it's the key. Like if you don't have the key, you can't open any of the locks. You have to have the key. And I
That's
feel like food,
exactly right.
it's like the key is the fuel, is the food, which in turn creates, the thoughts we have about ourselves, the way we
Yep.
see the world, the way we feel connected to the world and animals and other people, and just, I don't know. It's so elevating and so reassuring because you just feel that immediate connection when you eat raw
Yeah.
foods. I personally, you know, yeah, I'm a high raw vegan, but lately I've been eating a lot of raw foods and I made a raw vegan pizza yesterday and it feels really awesome. And like, I feel like I'm tapping into my creative energy more when it comes to that because I had to go out of my comfort zone. So it makes me want to do it more, not only because it's a creative thing, but it's also raw vegan and feels good. And it's just, so
Yes.
I'm getting more into it. So I can't say I'm 100%, but
Yay.
I'm getting more into it and it's fun. And yeah, I'm excited so I can see what I can make next. I don't know.
I'm
There's so many things.
excited. There's like that's why I'm so connected to my recipes because it just blows my mind that I can make something and then afterwards you still feel good. Like most of my life I just never felt good and didn't know, and now all of a sudden like there's this connection that you can
Yeah.
spoil yourself. I feel like most of our life is anytime I went to spoil myself it was self-harm. You only got a bit of dopamine, and then I was like I've entered this, got the key, and now I've entered this whole world where everything can be pleasure, and then afterwards you don't feel like crap. And
Yeah.
that's why we do what we do, but that's also why I do it how I do it and you do it how you do it, Miranda. There's no blueprint for every person. You have to find a way to love it so that you stay doing it so that you then can do anything else that you want to do in your life.
Yeah. It's not like how people say a diet, that connotation of the word diet is so like warped nowadays. Like, oh, I'm on a diet. Like, oh, and you're not enjoying yourself. Like, I would never want to live that way.
That's
I eat
right.
healthy, loving foods because I want to, because I
Yeah.
know that it's gonna make me feel good in the long term. It's like, I don't know, and like there's that just disconnection. And like you said, like literally self-sabotaging and
Yes.
calling it like a cheat day. I don't have any cheat days. Every day is a cheat day for me, really. I
That's
mean,
right.
but like if you have to go off a diet and like you're only cheating yourself if you think about it all the time if you have to go on a cheat day. You know what I mean? Like every day you're cheating yourself out of abundance if you feel like you have to go on a 1 day binge.
Yes. Like, and because then you're living for the binge, right? And I don't know what's in everybody's mind, but they're still using the dopamine reward system, right? So the only way they can stay in punishment mode or deprivation mode is because they have a cheat day on Sunday. And
Yeah.
so we don't even think like that, because we're like, I want to spoil myself. All I see it is spoiling myself extra. But sometimes I'm actually just as excited I don't need like a fancy recipe that's raw. I literally get excited over salads and fruits and my green juice. And like, I'm like, you may think it's more simple, but it's like the joy that it brings me is just on par. It's just what I feel today. And then when I do have something that's it, like yesterday what I had, the beetroot noodles with the sesame and the carrot wraps and the cashew cream, is because I've eaten so simply and had so much joy from it. But so simply is when you have something that's more condensed, you're like, oh my gosh, I forgot there's even more,
Mhm.
but then usually after I have that, I don't want more of it. Usually I want my regular things.
Oh my,
um
I completely agree. Like sometimes I'll be eating like a whatever fancy dinner I make. I'm like, I'm excited just to have peaches tomorrow. You know,
yeah,
like
yeah.
it just brings me so much joy just to eat peaches. It's like this
Oh,
things and the local farms, and I just love that immediate connection because you can around here you can like pick your own cherries, apricots, blackberries, peaches, you name it. So it's really, and soon we're going to be able to pick our own watermelon, and that is always a fun time.
it is. There's almost this aspect to it where my whole life I only loved something that I did for the moment, and my brain had to learn to push out what was going to happen next. Like when I think of picking fruits, is the whole thing is good. Like you get might be in the car with your friends to drive there, and then you get out and you're laughing in the sun and picking the fruit, but then afterwards there's no come down. And I think the brain does not like to focus on what is negative, because what keeps us alive is essentially dopamine seeking. That's how the brain works. So we're not aware that after that birthday party where we have a lot of junk food and we feel very happy, is or we're an alcoholic and we think we feel good when we've got the alcohol in our system, is the brain doesn't send us the signal for what's about to happen after, and that's why we keep going back to things.
Mhm.
But when you get into this lifestyle, is the whole experience, including that afternoon and that night and the next day, it's all good. And
Mhm.
I think that's where the confusion comes, because the brain doesn't put them on par. Like it's a different experience. Is people think that fruit who are on a standard lifestyle is dull. But if that's all you know, and you sit and you elevate into a consciousness where you always feel good, is you're living for, like, it's just not, what you're living for is just like this fantasy of coping, that the
Mhm.
body is like living from dopamine. It might be a coffee in the morning to leftovers from the night before at lunch to wine at dinner, and you're only living because the brain keeps thinking of the dopamine and it's in denial about the come down. But it's like that experience you spoke about. It's just, I couldn't believe when I got on these foods that I constantly just felt good.
Right. There's no like, I don't know, there's no celery juice hangover.
No, I ain't getting that.
And one time, like a few years ago, when I don't know when this was, but I remember the last New Year's Eve that I would drink alcohol. I remember it, and I'm like, I'm never doing this again. I'm never gonna start the new year like feeling like
Yeah.
bitch. And that was just like a new thing for me. And that next year, I started the new year with fresh watermelon juice, and we watched the sunrise, and it was so good. Like the start to the new year, like it was a constantly good feeling. And like we made vision boards, and it was so much better than, lying in bed with a hangover eating french fries. So how do you want to spend your time before,
Yes.
during, and after?
And that one is like destructive and one is creative. So I spent my new year this year um, with a good friend who's high raw. We watched the sunrise. We got they're like manifestation cards that we
Mhm.
pulled as the sun came up. Then we both got journals and wrote out all our intentions for the year. And then we kind of put some music on. We're dancing around in the sand a bit. And then it was only 8 or 9 a.m. and I went and got some juice. And I feel like my whole year's been in more flow. Not that even last year I drunk, like I haven't drunk in years, but I actually want to start a revolution of this, maybe like as it gets towards the new year, is like put out like the idea of like things to do to bring in the new year, because
Yeah.
I feel like the only thing which holds us back from all the excitement and creativity and amazement that comes when you enter the key and the gate of the raw food kingdom is that the rest of the world is not doing what we're doing. So to anybody that you say, you know, I'm going to get up really early and watch the sunrise, their consciousness cannot comprehend it, because they're like, you know, I might even still be out from the night before, or, you know, that's, or who'd get out of bed for that. And whereas like, I feel like but we talk about this often, represent the fruit. I want to represent the fruit.
Yeah, I do. I really do want to be that person that wakes up early and makes everyone fresh juice, makes everyone a smooth.
Yes.
We're working slowly in our own little communities, online, within our family. Like we're working just by being. I feel like it's so important. We're just being
Yeah.
and existing and thriving. And I don't know, just like, I don't know, just being ourselves and loving ourselves and radiating that love to everyone else, and they can feel it and they'll want to do it, like they'll want to do it with you, so my boyfriend, that's who I did it with. We went to watch the sunrise and everything, and it was nice because like he's never done anything like that before, and it was just like, wow, we're kind of starting a new tradition. So we have been doing that basically every New Year's since then, of 3 New Years so far. Last year we did fresh orange juice, which was good. So
Oh.
let's change up the juice. Maybe we'll do like pineapple juice or something. Very nice.
Oh, I love that. And yeah,
Mhm.
Koala Mama said here, you know, I wish I had known sooner um, to just drink juice instead of alcohol at gatherings. And on that, you guys have probably heard this story. I went to Bali and I went to a day bar. So I got well for like a year in 2018, or relatively well. And then I went downhill again. And I went to Bali during that time and I did drink, and I went to like day bars. But this time, well, a couple of years back when I went to Bali, I went as a raw foodist. So I was having a lot of fruit. I posted a lot of reels on it, trying all new fruits. Um, and I went to a day bar, and they had in the day bar shots of spinach juice, coconut water, ginger, and turmeric. And the music's blaring, and I love music. And my sister filmed me, and I'm like, I'm having shots. And then I'm like in the pool, and everyone's drinking beer and wine, and they serve coconuts. So
Oh
I'm
my
in the pool, and because I've looked after myself, I'm not self-conscious. So I'm in a swimsuit, but I don't feel like I've got, you know, even when I was really small, is eating a diet which doesn't serve you. You never felt confident. So I'm really confident. Then I got up and went to the dance floor in my swimming costume with my coconut and danced for like an hour and a half. Now all the young girls would come on because they were drinking and dance, but then they'd crash. Like they don't have this sustained energy. And I think but to make change, you have to be the change. We can't wish that people were out having juice and shots of juice and think that it'll just appear.
God.
You have to do it.
Yeah.
And the more you do it, and I've at my sister's 40th, I was on the table dancing with an apple. I'm like, woohoo! Look at that apple! Is it real? And I'm like dancing, like, yeah,
Yes.
like
Fruit
we just
over here.
that's right. And I got up in the morning and then went for, I think, run or pull up. I think run at that stage. And so you've got everything you think. People come to this lifestyle and they think they're going to lose. Like, I can't do this, I can't do that. I always say, what can you do? You don't have to be perfect right now. The fact that you want to look after yourself more is amazing. It may be a matter of that the big change you want to do is stop drinking. And Elizabeth, I used to do podcasts with, she used to take grape juice in a wine glass to parties. So everyone else is still drinking juice. Theirs is just off.
Right.
Like she's having like the real stuff.
When I first stopped drinking, I would go to parties and stuff with my friends because I still wanted to be a part of social situations. But now I don't really find myself in those situations. But when I did, I brought sparkling apple cider, or
Ooh.
I just brought like a seltzer with coconut water and lime juice, kind of like a mojito, but not no like a no-hito. It's like, and nowadays I don't necessarily do like the mocktails or anything, but I still love that. Like just experimenting with different juices and stuff. And like I just have apple juice here. I mean, the most simplest things can just be sometimes the most pleasant and the most satisfying.
They can, but also how you have to remember how good life is when you appreciate celery or apple or peaches. Like the rest of your life, you just everything you're in awe of. I just want to bring up about the how I say the word swimming costume, and I actually only say swimming costume so you guys understand me. I call it a cozzy, like swimming cozzy costume. We in Australia everything's shortened. Like I do not use the word swimming costume. It's always I'll go put my cozzy on. Have you got your cozzy? And when I was with Jillian, she's like, "What are you talking about? You got your cozzy and your thongs, and you're going where?" I'm like,
We say we say swimsuit. I mean, that's what I say. Swimsuit.
okay, I'll remember that. I'll try remember that because in the comments are
Oh,
saying
we love
swimming.
your unique cozzy. I love that. Say it.
I grabbed my cozzy.
I'll start saying it, and my family will be like, "What?"
Yeah, I get that look. And even this is when I met Jillian over in Hawaii because I obviously a lot was getting my cozzy and thongs and going down the beach. And she would just stop and stare at me and forgot that I'd even told her what it means. And she'd be like, "What does this all mean again?" Yeah, so I say swimming costume. But I went to the mocktail party, the Europe mocktail party that anyone watching that's up on my YouTube channel. And so whenever I went out when I was younger, I would get younger, like in my teens or 20s. Then I stopped going out, but I would have a vanilla vodka and apple juice. So I brought to the party apple juice, coconut water, and vanilla. And oh my God, it was so good.
I know.
It
I
was,
saw it. I need to make that.
oh, you did, yes, it is definitely, and it's not hard. It's just crack open one coconut. I used green apple, and you just put a little vanilla natural flavor in or fresh vanilla if you want. And oh my, and I was talking at the party and I need to order some little cocktail glasses. I want to walk around here in my loungewear with my candle lit, and chill out with some nice music and have my mocktail. It's all like there's no difference. Women are doing that with like wine or cocktails, and the difference is you constantly feel good. You're giving your body nutrients.
It's not like this jolt of fake energy or fake dopamine. It's real, sustained goodness for your body long term, and it's not putting wear and tear on your liver. It's actually helping in the function of your liver. Love that.
Yeah, it's just I think it's just foreign in the world that we live in that you turn up and you actually benefit yourself. So when people see you again, you're even more high vibe because instead of the 5 times that they've drunk since you've seen them, you've actually just constantly been putting nutrients in your body. And I just think we struggle because it's such a difference to what the world is doing. And off that, I saw here a beautiful comment up here just about how much these lives have helped.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, staying motivated. And I'm so glad because I want people to feel that they're connected in a world where most people that what we're talking on seems so different. Like, because I do this because this helps me. Like, I'm always immersed in this community and others can do it too. And well, they were all here. And then it just feels more normal.
Right. And you don't feel alone because, I don't really have any other high raw or fruit lovers as much as me in my real world. And, it's just really refreshing to talk to people that I can talk to about these things and get excited about drinking juice, for example.
Yes. I think speaking of drinking juice, keep reaching over and getting it. It's cucumber and apple.
I need to make some cucumber juice because in my garden, I have an obscene amount of cucumbers. I have like 3 or 4 cucumbers that were just ripened this morning. So I could make like a,
Ooh.
have you made like a cucumber apple lemon juice?
I would be drinking that right now, but I'm trying to keep the amount of histamines I have low.
Okay.
So and I think people, anyone watching who has histamine issues, is you can't eradicate histamines. They're in most foods, but I eat low histamine foods. But if I want to have some lemon on a salad, I can do that because I haven't had it in a juice or haven't had other histamine foods. I pick when I'm going to add but otherwise that is like, that they're amazing. Like that's an
Yeah,
amazing
it's
juice.
a good combo. So I'll have to make that because I have a
So
ton.
yeah, they're not even vegans around me. Raw they think is nuts. Yes, you know what? Every part of being the raw vegan, you could say it's different, but I embrace it because we've spoken about this. Is I feel like it's my job to speak on behalf of the fruits and the raw veggies. Like when people are like, "Why are you still dancing and so high vibe and your skin's glowing at 44?" and I'm like, "I'm a raw vegan. I'm
I
out here representing the raw veganism. Like I'm out here doing it."
We're just a walking billboard, and that's how we should be. Like we shouldn't be shy or, like I used to have like no confidence, and but I said like I think before like my confidence and the belief in myself and my connection to my diet and lifestyle has improved my confidence, and now I'm not afraid to say whatever because it's like I'm proud to be, and I feel so connected. So there's the passion and the drive and just the integrity of like doing what you speak about and like consistency of goodness and abundance. It's just too good.
Yeah, and I think what I guess before I lost a lot of my confidence being sick, but naturally I was always a very confident child. So let's go back to my childhood. And I think we probably all were. I mean, I think some people could be less than others, but I'm like, look, when I'm on a live and someone is like, "You look old and you look this," and I'm like, like, "You must be 50." And I'm like, it'll be a privilege for someone like, especially me, to reach 50. I didn't think I'd reach 40. Like people say it in this negative like connotation, and then they're like, "You look old," and I'm like, "Have you seen a photo? You need meat." And I'm like, "Have you seen a photo of me?" And I just bring it up. I'm like, "I ain't go," and then I'm like, "Oh yeah, I should go back. Hey, how silly am I to have hair and glowing skin? I
Oh, I
need to go
should have
back to
thought
this."
about
Yeah,
that.
I'm like, and then they just stop talking. If you agree with them, but showing their right in their face, they can't deny. And it's
Right.
because I am so proud of what I do every day,
Mhm.
what comes out of me because of it.
Right. And like nobody can necessarily shake that. Like you're too strong and you know yourself more than anyone else. So you're not gonna just listen to any old person that just says whatever. It's kind of silly.
That's right. I'm so glad that this lovely comment from Koala Mama. I'm so glad because I feel like everyone has their, and I feel like I know, like Koala Mama is always on the lives. I feel like I know everyone brings their expertise, like, and I feel like we all have it, but everyone doesn't have all of it. Like us as a community have so many different skills.
Yeah.
Um, but we need the community so that they all come together and we can learn off each person.
Hmm.
And then the more people who share, right, is you also gain, like, you're not just, I really never want somebody to think there's like a blueprint to this. We're
Yeah.
human. Like part of why I can stay raw is because I've made mistakes and felt how crap I was, especially at the start whenever I went back. If I didn't learn that myself, I would probably self-sabotage more. We
Mhm.
sometimes just have to learn. Um,
Agreed.
so so you don't eat McDonald's. Okay. My 6-year-old nephew was hilarious. He said, "Do you ever eat normal food?" Do you know, it's really funny because my nieces actually know that I'm like the auntie who, well, they would associate I'm the auntie who's like always going, always doing something. I'm over on TikTok making reels. Like they know people can see what things do. My nieces would know that I'm different and it would have something to do with it. So it's all about representing. So we're ready for another question.
Sure, let's go.
Okay. Um, uh, there's a few here. I'm trying to find a good one because we seem to go talk about it for a while. Are there any risks associated with being a raw vegan?
Um, like health risks? I mean, no. I think that most things in your life will improve. Uh, your elimination processes, your skin, your energy, your sleep, the way you absorb nutrients. Honestly, if you're eating in abundance and you're truly loving yourself, I really don't believe there's any health risks. I mean, there are risks of, being questioned all the time, a lot of things that you wouldn't, I don't know, like people are going to ask you, oh, where do you get your protein? Where do you get this? Where do you get that? So that's one risk. You're always being, you know, bombarded with questions. That's one thing I noticed. But when it comes to health risks, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you know, Skye, from personal
Yeah.
experience, that the raw foods are very healing. They're very loving.
Yeah. So when it comes to risks, I just find this funny because the risks are so much lower than the diet I was on. There's risks of too much water. Of course there's risks when you walk outside every day that, I don't know, a tree could
Mhm.
blow something in your face. Like we there are risks. If you only ate 3 foods, you're at risk. I think there's two sides to this, and that is you're lowering your risk is what I see. Is first off, you're lowering your risk of issues is
Yeah.
by dramatically. But if somebody isn't ready to look after themselves, they will find a reason to not do it. It's almost like you trigger someone to see the truth. You're the truth. Like this is how it should be. And it's too much
Mhm.
because they have to leave their comfort, right? Because the comfort someone's created you have to do basically, well, you didn't go through this, Miranda, but most people, you're a miracle. Most people have to suffer so much that they can't go back.
Mhm.
Most people on this lifestyle, like that's how they get here because we're too comfortable where we are. Like,
Yeah.
um, I think of even when I was having all those surgeries and I'm medicated, is you couldn't get someone like me at that stage to see raw foods.
Mhm.
I would tell you why I couldn't do it, but that's really all just denial, right? Because we can all do it. What was it that got you, that shifted you across? Because most people can't go back because of usually disease or suffering in some way. And that's what catapults us. But
I
what
mean,
about you?
well, I went vegan for the animals, but when I've discovered like just feeling like I talked about how I had really low energy and I had really bad IBS and all that, and I just wanted to feel better. I wanted to feel more confident. I wanted to feel more connected to my diet. I wanted to eat more simply so my body can kind of just chill out because I would eat a lot of things that, weren't serving me at all. Yeah, I definitely didn't go through like anything major. I guess it was mostly I wanted to just try something different. I went on like a kind of like a low carb vegan thing, and then did the intermittent fasting, and I would always drink coffee, and I was feeling very bleh. I just wanted to feel vibrant and alive. And
Yeah.
my own research and all that, and just discovering like how we're designed to be eating is a lot of plant foods, a lot of whole plant foods that love us. And yeah, they prevent diseases, prevent inflammation, prevent illnesses and can reverse illnesses and sicknesses. And I just think that when I look at it, it's very simple to me. When I look at foods that I'm eating compared to what I used to be eating, now I know it's like, how did I not know
I
that?
know, right?
Like
How
that's
did I know it?
not know that, but we always think like that in hindsight. So I guess like I really went, I didn't have anyone in my life that, or still don't really. I mean, my boyfriend, he eats pretty well now that I'm around, but I didn't have anyone at the time that even aligned with me, or like I had really just on the same wavelength. I was really kind of in it alone, and that's when I really started posting on Instagram. Was I wanted to feel like connected to others too that felt this way. So, just drinking a lot of smoothies, eating a lot of fruit, a lot of greens, a lot of just freshness, just feeling more fresh, just feeling more energized and hydrated. And I barely even drink water because I like eat so much water. A
Yeah.
lot of people ask me that. A lot of people DM me like, "How much water are you drinking? How much water do you drink a day?" And I don't even know because I eat most of my water. Unless it's like 100 some degrees out and super sunny and I'm outside, I'm
Yeah.
normally not drinking a ton of water.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I just really wanted to feel connected to other people that feel the same way. I've like just elevated their life with the whole plant foods. And yeah, that's how I got here today with you.
I was like, and look at you now. So I love, and that's what it does, right? It does, it creates I feel like it creates itself. Like, I feel like what the food did for me. Um, and just, I think the risks are low. Yes, we did bring up here about electrolytes. I did end up with an electrolyte imbalance, but it's back to eating. You can't think you come across this and you still can't, you don't, your body doesn't need what it originally needed. Like, it needs balance from different foods. Sometimes you need more veggies, sometimes more fruit, sometimes more green, sometimes you need a few extra nuts or seeds or less of those. And the more you can get in tune with that, the better. If you eat this way and still feel sick, definitely first step, get a blood test, because it showed my electrolyte imbalance. And I just self-corrected with things like sodium,
Yeah.
which came up down here. But in truth, the risk, like, I don't hear anybody stay on the diet they're on and they're like, I cured cancer, I got rid of MS, I now don't have irritable bowel. It just continues to get worse.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, see this diet for improving your health, but still look after your health. Is what I would suggest to people. But I started posting because it was literally like a miracle. Like, I'm like, and plus the food looks so pretty. I didn't post what had occurred so much as I posted all my recipes, which at the start, if you go all the way back, were just simple salads. But I just thought they looked so beautiful and yummy. I'd never been so inspired by something.
Yeah. No, that's literally how I felt. I feel like your salads were my smoothies. Like
Yes.
you started eating so much salads and felt so good and started posting them. This is literally how I felt about smoothies. I'm just like, smoothies, yeah, I'm gonna post my smoothie video. And it was like very, not the best quality videos, but it doesn't matter. It didn't matter at that time because like the way you feel, just like posting it and expressing yourself and just sharing it to the world. How you said that like we have to expose other like what other people are always feeling already inside because we are already
Yeah.
shining a light. If there's something going on inside of them like that we are exposing, it was already there, and it's okay to have that. Like when you shine light in a dark place, that's a good thing. We want that. And so then we can elevate ourselves and better
Yes.
ourselves.
Yes, I agree. I think we often mistake and can get triggered by what we've brought out in others, where it's really not about me.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my air conditioning's getting really hot in here. Oh, I'll have to get up and grab it. We shine light, and then people might be like, "You look 100 years old," and I'm like, I always like to see. It's not about me.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is about the person, is including why I can get up and share. Is I do it because it's such a miracle that what it can do, it inspires me to do it. But we as humans can get caught up in that and never get anywhere. So if you're eating like a dense diet and someone says you look 100, at some level, you look 100 because you're not looking after yourself. So you, instead of facing that, you get into an argument with somebody and your whole personality for 4 days comes off the back of a Facebook argument.
Mm-hmm.
And it is very freeing to be the light. because a lot of people like, how do you hold up with all the comments? I'm like, they literally don't affect me. But if I didn't eat like this, I assume it would hit me like a bullet because I'm not looking after myself. But if you're doing your best every day to do self-care, there's no more I can do. What do people want me to do next? Like you know, like it's so there is no more. I can constantly show up for myself every day now. But I think that's, you know, what, by being light energy like that, is you just, if anyone was going to do what I do, I say learn to be comfortable being yourself. Like I can only show up every day being myself. If I put something on, then of course I'm constantly taking an input to adjust it. But none of that is going to change who I am. I am just going to grab my air conditioning remote for a second. But it's like it's turned into a little furnace in here. Yeah. So we don't want that. Well, I could run a sauna session. You guys could watch me in a sauna session.
Well,
Group saunas.
Detox.
Detox. Yeah. Detox live.
Yeah. I mean, hey, that would be something fun.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, well, no. Truly, because if I did that, like when I go to the sauna with a coconut and I turned that on, is the phone goes dead because it overheats.
Oh, yeah.
It melts. I'm melting.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll put my phone in the window and the sun's shining in, so I get some good lighting for a video, and then my phone gets too hot because the sun is shining on it, and I'm like, no, the video lighting is perfect, but I guess it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, I feel like that's the sun teaching is a valuable lesson. It's like,
burn,
phone, burn.
And they're
like, be with me.
Yeah. I see in the comments they're talking about Freely the Banana Girl, and she definitely impacted why I started drinking a lot of smoothies too. I watched her YouTube videos. I'm like, oh, I should try the smoothies too. So that had a big impact on why I started drinking smoothies as well. Not only that, but just like I got a blender and I wanted to try new things. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna try the smoothies, and yeah, ever since then I have one almost every single day. It's because it's easy, it's fun, it's simple, and it's just, yeah. And my smoothies are your salads, like I said. I love them.
Yeah. And see, this is the thing, right? This is what I believe. So people like Dr. Morse and Freely, Jurian Ryder, whoever you're looking at is us. If they're doing something right, you are attracted to something about the person. Like, and I think that's what makes you try it. It may not be the answer you want, but if someone looks healthy and they're doing well, we instinctually want to know what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, if Dr. Morse, I think he's in his 70s, I don't know, don't know, but like, and he looks well, people are like, well, there must be something to it. And so, yeah, it's worth sharing. And I used to watch Dr. Morse videos in the comment section, very high vibe and exciting at the time. Yeah. Okay. So next question. And anybody watching, you guys can ask questions too if you like. Okay. Is it, I don't know why this one. So how do you get enough calories to sustain energy levels?
I would say right now it's pretty effortless, but when I first started, I did have a hard time because I didn't have the highest amount of fiber in my diet. But at the same time, I'm not really counting calories. I kind of just trust and I know that I'm getting what I need. You know, my blood tests are perfect. So it's like, I don't know. I work out and I get hungry. You know, when you don't, a lot of people like try to suppress their appetite, and it happens a lot. You know, people are smoking or vaping or drinking a lot of coffee, and those are all appetite suppressants, and I don't do anything that suppresses my appetite. So I don't know, I just have a natural hunger signal. And when you, like, we have, you know what the vagus nerve is? Skye.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes.
Vagus nerve, that is what's sending signals to your brain. So that is healthy. When you have a healthy, relaxed nervous system, you get
Yeah.
those clear signals naturally, and then you get those full signals, right? So it's like, I don't know, it's just kind of effortless, and I don't really think about it. But I was in a calorie surplus for a little bit because I was trying to gain weight. So I just wanted to see, like, can I really eat 3,000 calories a day and like gain some weight? And I was feeling literally so amazing. And I still always do. But I'm saying, like, I had extra energy, and because I was doing a lot of working out, and I'm kind of weaning off that now. But I still feel really good, and I don't feel like I need to eat any more than I
Yeah.
already.
I have found that when I was first healing, I never looked at calories. I was extremely underweight. I was in a place where I just wanted to live. Weight, disease, I didn't think really much of it. I just wanted to live. And then as I got into thinking that I had to get this, and I think it was to just feel that I was okay posting, that I was getting 2,500 or more calories in a
Mhm.
day. And what I noticed, and I think this is more a menopause thing, is I would just continually start to put on weight, and probably I had a terrible metabolism after being so skinny. So I put on 12 kilos in 1 year, not even paying attention, just eating when I needed. When I started to force calories in, I gained weight. Now I'm really just about nutrition. But I think there's different stages. And I feel like even at the start when I was eating just fresh veggies and salad and some fruit, but a variety, that there's energetics in the food that we don't understand.
Mhm.
So people are thinking that it's hello,
Yeah.
only calories. And these people thinking it's only calories are actually still trying to run their body off a lot of caffeine.
Right.
I think there's more to it that we possibly don't understand. And I like that we don't understand because we start dissecting things and giving it labels, and then there's a new doctor for energetics of food, and then we're more confused. There's something about literally the electricity. I was eating carrots and celery, and I could finally get up. When I was eating things like sugar and processed food and caffeine, I couldn't get out of bed,
Mhm.
not like sustained doing something. So there is some energetics to food. Um, but I do believe at the start is you just need to eat.
Mhm.
You need to eat a lot. And look, off the back of the vagus nerve, I like sort of talking on things which I've experienced. So, you hear a lot about the vagus nerve, which is, like one of the major nerves. It's like just up under the cranial atlas bone up here. And it
Mhm.
comes down and it really regulates the autonomic and the parasympathetic nervous system in the body. So all those flight and fight responses. Now, I have shared here that I went back to coffee when I broke my toe, and I went back again a couple months, and I've spoken about it. And what I noticed is, and remember, I'm missing my stomach, so I'm feeling things very intensely. Plus, I've had a very intense nervous system problems from being so sick. Is I
Mhm.
have the coffee, and the coffee creates an acidic response, like a protective acid response. And now that acid not having a stomach goes straight up my throat. I
Mhm.
also don't have tonsils, which means the drainage around the skull is not great. So I've got now reflux up. And when it comes on, it almost feels so familiar. I think it's like a cooked food familiar, but with coffee, it comes on very, very fast. With this, I get what you call they call it broken bones syndrome, where you notice your limbs, and this comes because the blood gets, and a lot of the hydration comes out of your extremities. So first off, you see, and people with dysregulated nervous systems with autism and ADHD, it's called broken limbs, where you go to sleep, you have dinosaur arms.
Mhm.
You notice it most in your hands. And I see photos when I had the coffee or when I'd taken reels, and I've got broken bones has come back. So that's first dysregulation that's occurred. The major one I feel is I get massive pain up here, which is the vagus nerve. And I'm
Yeah.
sharing this because we're talking about what I think happens over time for people. But with me, it literally comes on really quickly. I
Wow.
obviously, my nervous system, I'm like in panic. So every time someone comes near me, my brain starts sending me this horror story, like, and I'm jumpy, okay? Like, as in, like, I can see how I'm going to end up in post traumatic stress within a few days if I keep doing this.
Wow.
And so I get a burning, it's like a line from here all the way down to my stomach. So I just feel the vagus nerve for me just flicks on with coffee very quickly because it's very acidic, and because I'm missing like adenoids, tonsils, and stomach and duodenum. So we're getting it going on really fast, but
Right.
it's this is why there's no value in no not having value in lessons. Like I need to learn that myself, what these foods do to my body to keep me away from these foods. But it's
Right.
really interesting that people are walking around and wondering why they need alcohol because that's a relaxant. When you're nervous, someone gets up in the morning and has a few shots of coffee, espresso and one at lunchtime, and then they need to unwind at night. And then that gives you reflux, like I was saying. So then you need to get things like Nexium. Nexium constipates you, then you need I just see so clearly in situations like that why I left it and what it does. But I thought that was a perfect opportunity to bring up what I've learned about myself and how quickly it dysregulates in the world that I left behind. But really, I guess what it was saying is I also end up in chronic pain very quickly from that. But I go to doctors. I would end up at a doctor for chronic pain, not a dysregulated nervous system. Like
Mhm.
it's interesting that a lot of people I feel are walking around with a whole lot of issues
Right.
that come back to the vagus nerve. That was kind of my point.
Yeah, no, I mean, it is called the central nervous system for a reason.
That's
But
right.
like the center, I mean, there are so many like important parts of the body though, but the central nervous system, it goes everywhere. Your nerves are everywhere. If you don't have nerves, you literally can't feel anything.
It does. I'm so sorry, Miranda. I left the remote over there. Now I'm cold.
Okay.
Oh no, wait, it's there. It's right next to me. I've got it. Sorry, guys. I was like, where's the remote gone now? So no, that's fine. Um, yeah, people like but I think people that's the fractured world that people come from. I think it's like it's like that learning curve where I realize that all of my problems originate from a dysregulated nervous system. Even if you have I had a congenital disease which throws a hiccup, in the flow of things in the body is if your nervous system is healthy and you are healthy, because there's massive portions of scar tissue all over my body. I believe I start feeling them and having problems with them only when I am dysregulated. And just a cup of coffee over a few days literally almost kills me.
That's
Um,
so
but
intense.
yeah. Well, I think this is like the limbic system in the brain and the regulation of like the breathing and the whole nervous system is we have to understand that, well, I guess the limbic system is going to run no matter what because we need the breathing and we need the blood flow. But when I do any talks on like the ADHD and forgetfulness and brain health and Alzheimer's is the body is actually doing its job giving us those diseases because the consciousness and memory and all of that is not needed to survive. We do need to breathe. Like we have to breathe and have to digest. Okay, so the brain's got its like priorities going on, but like it's so nice when you eat raw foods that everything just corrects itself. Like people come in and they're like, "Will it fix my leg?" I'm like, everything will get to levels of health
Yeah.
that you did not even know possible. Like you'll be have concentrated so much of your life to fix your ankle or your knee, and then the shoulder that you forgot about, and the sinus corrects itself, and your digestion. It's like,
Yeah, it all just kind of falls into place where it should be, and there are so many things that we can prevent with just eating a lot of raw foods. Like I literally just made a video. I haven't posted it yet. I just made a video on why you should stop drinking coffee or why you should lessen your amount of coffee
says
because
it's like I went back to it to go watch
I,
it.
I mean, like it's in theory, like the idea of drinking a drink shouldn't be so like daunting. It's just a drink, but it's not. It's a real psychoactive stimulant, right? So it's like, and it's very acidic, as you know, and a lot of things go into that. And I used to drink coffee all the time. I used to work like 2 jobs. I drink coffee. I'd have like yerba mate, which is like really strong tea. If you don't know what that is, it's like super strong,
Oh,
150 milligrams of caffeine, and
wow.
I had like 2 of those a day. So I was really like, and that's probably why I also had really bad digestion too. So it's like,
Mm.
but yeah, I mean, what they said, like the limbic regulates emotions,
Yeah.
behavior, and body functions, including memory, motivation, and fight or flight response. I mean, that's literally so important.
Yeah, it's like that real motivation, but the flight and fight response. It's like it's hard to explain.
I
Well, it's
know.
like the dinosaur brain, right? Is like we all have it. Like it's not that highest levels of consciousness, which is a gift, which I feel like I lost a lot of access to
Yeah.
from trauma, but the body does that on purpose.
Mhm.
But I think also like there's like two sides to this. So I believe in nature, something like caffeine and its healing abilities has a place, but we would have get it from, say, a cacao seed. When
Mhm.
something needs to be stimulated, we would have bit into it a bit and then not thought about it. We're talking about constantly thinking, I need a coffee, I need a coffee.
Right.
That's kind of the play. And that's like when people are like, I smoke the greens to relax. And I'm like, I speak to naturopaths and there is a place for it, right? Just say someone breaks a limb. I don't, it's not for me. And they need relief for a few days. Okay. And they have it in some food or whatever, but then they don't think about it. If you
Right.
constantly think about something which isn't like nutrients, that's just the only value is stimulation, you're addicted.
It's an addiction. Yep.
Like it's like that is like so it's like but I also always bring that up because I don't want people to fear things, because I feel like the more we sit in fear can be also draw us towards it. The more I can fear something, because it gives us that thrill that we've learnt. But there are places for things. Like I've heard even someone like Dr. Morse say, when you go into deep healing, because people's adrenals are so weak, if you can't move, you need a stimulant. Like,
Mhm.
and you don't need a stimulant every single day, but if your breathing starts to get labored and you're not moving, and that sounds very dangerous, I don't know how you get there, but like, so there is totally purposes for it's the medicine of food. Like we are what we eat. It's just you shouldn't be thinking only about caffeine. We should be thinking primarily about fruit. I always think like people like myself who need a lot of greens and salad, it's just that it's the same principle that herbs heal, is that
Right.
I've been through a lot. My body has been pretty broken and it's just requiring extra depths of healing.
Yeah.
Um,
Herbs, have a crazy amount of antioxidants and all these vitamins and minerals, and it's just, and they're not gonna, herbs aren't addictive, real healing herbs.
that's right. In fact, when I healed, if I could have afforded it, I would have only had herbs in my salad.
Mm-hmm.
I was obsessed. I'd still love it the most now. So all of my salads have a huge chunk of fresh herbs. Actually, probably not as much. At the start, it was like, I remember even before I knew that raw foods worked, I'd often just get tabbouleh,
Yeah.
which would have like basically like it was just parsley. Is my body just it was seeking out, and I feel like the gateway to that for me was that I was a high, like eating a lot of whole foods and vegan.
Yeah.
So, oh yum, added. Yeah, oil of oregano isn't that really good for people say for
Oh,
parasites?
yeah. It's a really good basically antibacterial, antimicrobial, antifungal, basically anti everything. You can use oil of oregano. If I feel like everyone around me is sick, for example, at like winter time, I'll put oil of oregano and thyme, and then I will dilute it with coconut oil and put it on the bottoms of my feet. And I rarely ever get sick. I mean, really. And sometimes I would wake up kind of not feeling so good. So the next night I'd do that and I would feel pretty good when I wake up. So it's like, it's not just it's not just the oil itself, though. It's how we are able to absorb it because of
Yeah.
our lifestyle as well. So, like,
Yes.
if someone that would eat like McDonald's every day and like steak and buttery potatoes at night does not mean that they'll be able to absorb that quite as well, because the nerves down there, your feet are some of the most absorbent parts of your body, and your palms and everything else. So it's like, I don't know, if you have a good body system function overall because of eating a lot of raw foods, I feel like when you put something on your body, you're going to absorb it more. And that's why, like, I feel like when I went fruit based, I stopped using any sort of fragrances because I would
Yeah.
get major like hives, super itchy. I have to use everything fragrance free. And if I even like touch something that is like like those laundry sheet, like the fabric softeners with the fake fragrances. It's just, I can smell it from like a mile away, and it gives me a headache immediately. I'm like, this is not what I want. So I feel like we're able to absorb, and I don't know. Do you feel that way too?
Yeah.
Like, you experience things more?
Yeah, so I had terrible allergies when I was on only fruit. And I
Mm,
was looking back at some photos of myself, how fragile my skin was back then. I feel like why I need so much density is
mm,
protection. I still don't use them, but I realized that I got really sensitive, but I have mast cell activation syndrome. Like I used to when I first went raw, which even before, I would have seizures from the FND just being around, especially laundry detergent is the worst. I'm much stronger now, but this feeds back into the fact that this is why I don't like promoting too much stuff as an influencer. Like I do have Luke. Someone mentioned Luke Coronas. I do use his enzymes and I do take magnesium at night. I use hormone replacement, but I can only do those because of my diet. Or people think that the shampoo and conditioner that I use is what fixed my hair, like that they are going to eat McDonald's, drink and have coffee and use my hair conditioner and their hair is going to be the same. The
yeah.
reason I can use hormone replacement therapy is because my body is so strong now. My liver's able to get rid of anything excess. That's it. My limit is like at that. And I've had full hysterectomy. And then magnesium is I do take it at night. It helps with my gut, but only am I getting the benefits because every day I'm exercising out in nature. I am eating foods which serve me. Like most of what people see is not a product.
Mm,
It's like
yep.
it's just that, like all the oil or the I noticed that when I was healing is peppermint oil was really amazing for pain. If I was eating a standard diet, that wouldn't touch me. It
Right.
wouldn't do anything. So a lot of what I speak is the diet, and then everything else is just complementary.
Absolutely.
Um, yeah, it's quite nervous. Yeah, a lot of people struggle with, I think, fragrance. I think it was always bothering us. We just never knew because we're so clogged up.
Exactly. Like when you're eating foods that are kind of like the equivalent of that, like very concentrated or fake or just not what not what's gonna make us thrive, And then now that we're really eating a lot of good foods that better our body systems, that better our organs functions, I think we're just going to be more attuned to everything that's around us and everything that we put on our skin or even inhale. It's like it affects us more because we're just more, I don't know, we're just we just absorb more.
Yeah. I also think we're supposed to be affected so we avoid it. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think we're supposed to go, oh, yes, I can't smell it now. Now I'll go and bathe in it or
Mm-hmm.
wash my clothes in it, which a lot of society does. It's like, it's where once you clean yourself, you are on a better course because you can't be near those things. Those things will give you low vibrational energy and life type things, right? Is because, and also the other thing which blew my mind. So many things did when I went on this lifestyle, but I remember getting out and walking and realizing how much everybody stunk. So
Mm-hmm.
because you smell everything so well, all I can smell is everyone smelled a bit like a garbage can that was bathed in a perfume. And I used to only be able to smell perfumes, and all of a sudden you smell the garbage. We call them bins. I think you call them trash cans. Was so intense. But then people, what's in the trash can is just their leftover food. And
Mm-hmm.
and then I get any people and I'm like, they smell like that bathed in perfume and they don't know. Um,
It's not like it's covering it up. It's just like I don't know. Like the worse that your body odor smells, the more that your body's trying to get rid of toxins. So like I rarely even have any body odor at all because I feel like my body is good at eliminating toxins within rather than like cuz like the body odor is some of the last places where the toxins leave, right? Through
Yep.
our skin, through our lymphatic system. So it's like
Yep.
when your organs are working better, when you're eating foods that you're utilizing and not putrefying inside your body, then you're going to smell more pleasant just naturally, and you're not going to need all that, that deodorant everywhere and the spray everywhere and the everything everywhere. And like, there's a time and place for some of it, but I mean, yeah, and sometimes like I'm in a public place and I just get this whiff of like smells everywhere. There's like cologne and then cooking food and then like someone's air fresheners and like even like their chewing gum, I can smell it. It's like
It is. It can be very overwhelming. So this might seem like too much information, but people probably can understand then how much the body does exist, like let off poison. So when I had shingles, I needed to take some pain relief for the first few days. I couldn't even have a sheet on my body. And when I would go to the bathroom to urinate, all of a sudden I'm like, what is that horrid smell? Because my body's excreting a poison. Because usually it's just, and people will say, if the body goes out of alkalinity, you die instantly. There's a range. There's a small range, the body, and I promise you, people eating this lifestyle will be swayed towards being more alkaline than the acidic. Yes, and because they're like, once you hit acidic or too alkaline, you die. Yes, but there's still a small range. I swear to God, and this happened again when I broke my toe. And I'm like, oh my God. And can you imagine? And the other reason I know that people have just got so much stuff coming out of them is when I had the coffee and I had to go to Pilates so in the coffee is a shot of coffee, but then the milk from the shop, I think had like the plant-based milk would have other things in it. Like it's not going to be perfect, right? So my body doesn't have those things in it usually. The smell that came out, I'm like, I've got to go and buy like a huge deodorant thing. Like that's just, and so they're just too, and I think like we're talking about very small amounts of
right.
non-raw foods here, right? And I'm just like, no wonder most of my life I'm thinking I need to spray this and spritz this and like, it says when you were on, oh, thanks, Michelle. Welcome. I'm glad you feel heard. Skye, since you're on so many pharmaceuticals, did you ever feel or taste them again? I heard this happening. I have heard. Okay, this could be a whole new live I could do. So when I first healed myself in 2018, I was on a paleo diet and a plant-based diet. And at the end of the year, I got shingles through the eye and a functional neurological disorder. Is a lot of what they were saying that I was displaying before they diagnosed me with this was chronic opioid and diazepam withdrawal that's come on years later that was blocked from trauma. And I have come off those medications before, which is horrible. So I hear people in the community that have been drug addicts, and we can go back to pharmaceuticals being the drugs here, that have relived things for years, 1 to 2 years before they release it, and it never comes back. So very similar, but I was eating cleaner than I had in the past and all other pharmaceuticals were gone, quite possibly. What I got on this raw diet and felt absolutely incredible, absolutely amazing. But also I had a lot of memory dissociation, which just parts of my memory have gone. And so back to that part where I did have some of the pharmaceutical trauma, possibly, is when all of this FND came on, I got shingles through the eye. It switched on memories which shouldn't have been switched on. So that could possibly have happened then. Going on this journey, I really had no access to memories. I could barely read when I started. Now, after I did juicing, I started to get massive memories back. And this past year, I have got memories back. And I do have moments where what I'm going through kind of links into some of the suffering I went through with drug withdrawal, because coming off opioids 4 years, where I almost died on because I got so sick from it. But they made me sick being on the medications. I couldn't stay on them when I wasn't in pain anymore. I don't necessarily believe the chemicals were still in my system. What resonates with me is that people call it fascia. I call it electricity. Is we can't escape our memories. If something can re-trigger a pathway in the brain. You will relive that, whether it's 10 years or 12 years. What does happen over time, though, is those pathways, those drug-induced pathways, they fade while you're building stronger pathways with fruits and veggies and running. And exercise is amazing. There's even studies that say if you want to, people who overcome trauma, you'll see they usually get into like running or a lot of movement, because it exerts the similar type of euphoria, but we get to build new structures in the brain. So essentially, if you've stopped coming off drugs but you feel on the raw lifestyle you are still in lack, this is what I believe happens, is you're in a lot of lack with withdrawal. You've had a lot, especially me, if I just, opioids, stimulants, SSRIs, we're talking about like literally maxing out all the pathways in my brain. Is I felt I came into this lifestyle with lots of fats seem to help. If I get too far into too much fruit and not enough fat, I notice it's like my nerves in my whole body are just fried. And I don't think it's the fruit. I think it's my past. But so what I want to say is, if you've been on pharmaceuticals and they will leave trauma memories, because there's no whole picture that's good with the pharmaceutical, is you can end up locking into those. Fats help. The brain just is happier with you're kind of coating the nerve endings and the myelin sheath. So any damaged nerves that misfire, you want that omega-3s going slow. So don't think you have to leave being a drug addict and eat this perfect 80-10-10, or you're going to juice yourself out of it. I would highly suggest that you do it at your own pace and don't let the brain access those old memories. So that's my experience so far. But I don't feel that they're still in me. I feel like the body's job is it gets rid. That's why I took the painkillers and I smelt it. It's not, the body does not want to hold on to it, but it does hold on to all the memories. It's electricity. It's why we have trauma. And I feel that if people know that, then imagine how many pharmaceuticals would be left in me. If someone was going to detox the most in the world, it would have to be me. I remember that nurse came on one of my feeds and I was like, I woke up and had 500 milligrams of OxyContin in the morning. She goes, people come out of surgery and take 25. And I'm like, oh, plus 60 breakthrough every 4 hours, plus another 500 milligrams at night, plus 120 of a fentanyl patch, plus Botox in the spine, local anesthetic, ketamine in pain, in cardiac units for pain. Like, I'd go in, they'd give me pethidine and more. They would like literally, and I'd still feel it until I had a hysterectomy. Then it stopped. Then I came off it all. But anyone should have the most detox and tasting things. It should be me. But what it feels like is there's a lot of pathways there for memory. So I've kind of gone off there, but maybe that'll help somebody.
I'm sure it will.
So, okay. Did you want to keep going?
Let's go. Yeah. Do you have any more questions?
I do. How do you deal? This is a good one. How do you deal with cravings for cooked food or processed foods? I mean, you're high raw, so but still, I mean, a craving's a craving.
Well, right. I think it really comes down to just nourishing yourself enough throughout the day. I think a lot of people don't eat enough, especially for breakfast, or like they don't eat. I mean, I shouldn't say always enough, because like you can eat a lot of garbage and still not feel
That's true.
satisfied. So they don't eat enough quality goodness throughout the day, and then that leaves their body just wanting nutrition. And I think most cravings come from just really a lack of nutrition to the brain, a lack of love for yourself, a lack of good freshness. And like, I mean, yeah, I do eat cooked foods, but I don't feel like I necessarily crave the cooked foods. It's kind of like a routine now, just to kind of eat whatever like I have at like sweet potatoes or like steamed veggies or like something rice or something like that. It's just kind of what I have, what I do. But like I said, I'm experimenting. But like when it comes to processed foods, I don't know. I don't really crave that much, simply because I know how it makes me feel. Like I try to look further into it than just like I want whatever cheese puffs, or I want this, or I want cookies, or like, you know, like I try to look deeper into like the actual desire. And like, yeah, I have like, you know, my period and like have hormones and like sometimes I want certain things, but I honestly, I decide I want to like have something, I will make it myself because I know
Right.
that all the ingredients, I know that feels good and I know what's in there and I don't have to go anywhere. It's in my house. So I feel like there's a lot of things I just don't. I don't know. I just really don't crave a lot of stuff. I just eat a lot of fruit and it really is super satisfying.
I love that. That and so Rocky Wright and Friends has said, "I wish I had been on a high raw diet at Miranda's age." That's amazing, and I think it's amazing because I always say, I feel like I was the most like once you've come out of school and university, people are the most programmed because you're in your other side of 25, right?
I'll be 27 on August
Yeah,
10th.
right.
So,
Because we're both Leo babies.
yes, close birthdays. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I didn't eat the healthiest like when I was a teenager, but I was a vegetarian and then I went vegan at 17 and a half. So like I was slightly more healthy than the average American, let's say, but like I still ate kind of not so good junk food, but you know, and addicted to coffee and all that too. So like I slowly just started learning more about it, and when it was in about 2020, let's say 20, yeah, I was about 23 or so. Yeah, 22 and a half, 23 when I went primarily fruit based and gluten free.
So amazing. So proud of you.
Thank you.
As for cravings for me, is it's like a twofold thing. It's either for comfort or because my body needs a nutrient I haven't given it. And I
Yeah.
think there's a crossover when you first go raw with that your body needs so much nutrition, plus it's sending you a whole lot of comfort messages, and that ends up with wanting all sorts of things. I love and I think it's how I got onto a raw diet. So raw food was going to save my life. So I had to stay on it. I could not, every time I'd cooked, I'd end up in bed. So
Mm,
I was like, how do I do this? I'm addicted to, um, vaping, smoking. I'm on pharmaceuticals. How do I do this? And how I did it, I still run my life today. Have a craving. I mean, I only had a bowl and a vegetable peeler back then and a chopping board, but I'd mimic what I craved because I was so strong, but it was all nutrients. So as I said earlier, like I would crave Asian food, so I'd rip up nori sheets and shape them like noodles, make carrot strips with a vegetable peeler, get some tamari and some cashews, and
mhm.
it may not be perfect, but damn, it's all nutrients. Like
Yeah.
I didn't go and have something, and so if I constantly crave something, so when I was eating a lot of fruit, I was craving veggies all day and I didn't honor that. And I think that's how I ended up with the electrolyte balance because I didn't honor that I needed more veggies. And so that's like something long term. But if it's like a comfort food, I usually won't need it straight away. I might make the pad thai on the weekend or the pizza, the raw vegan pizza. So, sorry, raw vegan version of it. I tend to, so there's two types. If I'm constantly craving a particular food group, I'm usually nutrient deprived. But if I crave a specific meal that kind of floats around me for a while, I will just make it raw. And in doing that, I get nutrients, but I'm retraining my body that it can enjoy these foods
Yeah, like the
as well.
donuts. Like you're
Yes!
right.
I want to make donuts.
I still need to try that. I might try that. I'm actually going on a vacation with my family and boyfriend, and I might try that to see how my mom, she loves chocolate, like glazed donuts.
Oh,
So
shit.
my mom, she actually, in March, she went plant-based and she had high cholesterol. And now her cholesterol is normal after being on a vegan diet, primarily whole foods, plant-based,
Wow.
but smoothies every day, a lot of salad and greens. And now her cholesterol is normal and everything. And like, anyway, that's one good thing. So I feel like she might like the donuts. So. Let's see.
Yeah, they are so good. My out of all the food I've made, they're like my mum every few hours would text me, I had another one of the donuts. All the donuts are gone. I'm dropping more over. The donuts, I had another donut. Like
Yeah.
literally, like and but it's this they are so good. I'll put the donut recipe in the comments. I think it
Oh
only goes to my YouTube channel.
yeah.
If anyone wants the recipe, it's so good. But
I need that.
yeah, I get excited about salad and smoothie. It's wild. I feel like I'm more excited about, I think the reason I don't get excited about, but even fruit, like especially my birthday's coming up, so I will crack open a massive durian.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for mango season.
Mm.
Is I feel like I get more excited about salads than I have anything in my whole life when it comes to food wise. Like I just because I get a bowl and I recreate some sort of flavor combination that like literally makes me sing, and then afterwards I feel really hydrated. I think because I've got part of my digestion missing.
Mhm.
There's something about the saltier foods which allow me to be hydrated. Maybe my adrenals are just really weak. I don't know. I always feel so, especially with like lots of lemon as dressing and like the more hydrating fruits in there. And I
Yeah.
think what I noticed, especially at the start, is because I am missing my stomach. I did struggle with my dumping syndrome. I still do from time to time because my food goes straight into the intestines further down, and that's what absorbs the sugar. So that's why I do much better to have like my mango through the salad. I think because it doesn't then get absorbed so quickly.
It's
Oh,
true.
I love cherries. I love tart things
Oh my
like
god.
cherries, raspberries.
Don't even get me started on cherries. The other day I ate like 2 pounds of cherries in a day.
Yum.
It was
Because
too
you guys
good.
are in summer. We have to wait till it's our Christmas, which is our
Yeah.
summer,
Oh
and we
my
get the
gosh.
cherries.
Cherries, that sounds amazing though. Yeah. We only get cherries for a few months of the year and then like they're basically non-existent until June. So I had to get them while they're here and the
And you
local.
did that.
Yeah. I'm
You
still
did that.
Still doing it. Rainer cherries are really good. They're just like a little more expensive where I am, so I try to find them like more local. I feel like they're cheaper when they're
Yeah.
local, and they're better. I have a local cherry orchard like 12 minutes away from my house, so that's nice.
That is very nice. I
Right.
feel like we can't really comprehend the raw diet as being normal because it's so different. When I think about being in Bali and as to what it naturally would have been, is what I meant to say for that sentence. So when I was in Bali and you're literally outdoors all day and fresh picked fruit is kind of handed to you from the side of the road, um, you feel very different than you do indoors
Yeah.
thinking about things. Like it's just so when you talk about a cherry orchard is when you're immersed in that, you're not thinking about McDonald's. Who goes like, especially if you're someone who loves fruit and veggies, the problem comes when we are around old smells or people constantly talk about it or social media keeps bringing it up.
Mm-hmm.
That is not what was supposed to be natural. It's not that we can do what we used to do, but it's like
Right.
when people say, the raw diet, it's just not sustainable. It's like, well, it's what we're supposed to do. We have to make it sustainable. Like, what
Yeah.
is it? It's not sustainable. It's what's normal, but it's just we're not in our normal
Right.
environment as animals.
Exactly. I mean, we were designed to walk around being seed dispersers, but we're obviously not going to do that. So there are some things that, yeah, we might not be able to live the way that we would exactly live, but we can do the best that we can do now in our present moment, rather than looking back into the past, like what our ancestors did and all that, yada yada. Why don't we focus on real food, real nutrition, real present mindfulness, being out picking cherries, being in the present, touching trees that regulate your nervous system, just touching the grass. I'm sure you are grounding all the time. It's like the simplest things can just bring us back to our roots. And we don't get worried about what the news says, what the industries are saying, what the newest Oreo flavor, like all these things that are bombarded to us. It's like you got to stay strong within your light, within what you believe and what feels best for you. Not constantly bombarded by everything.
It's so freeing when I went raw. Well, I am raw, but like to know that really I don't need anything because I was in a situation where I have felt I'd lost everything, but we really have never lost anything because we have everything. Like as long as I could get some fresh food, is you don't need the face wash, the toner, the moisturizer, the 50 hair products. Now your hair's got split ends, there's a new product. You need 3 layers of moisturizer, deodorant, perfume. Like I literally grew up thinking that if you don't have those, there's something wrong with the person.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, there's something wrong that people think they need these things. Sure, these things can be fun. Like I wear some makeup and stuff, but I don't have to. Like
Right.
I actually felt that I was like that, you are what you eat, and I didn't feel good. So it's like I couldn't imagine my world. And all of a sudden I'm doing years on just coconut oil, and I put through my hair some rosemary and apple cider vinegar, and I'm good to go.
Oh my
And I
God,
think
the same thing. I
like
actually
it's
add some green tea too.
oh, so
Sometimes,
because I couldn't shampoo my hair, so I had like this lady would make rosemary and apple cider vinegar, but green tea would probably be even better.
well, green tea, it's really good for the blood flow, and the caffeine helps with the hair growth, and it's like one of the best antifungals. So when you make really strong green tea, if you have like I used to have really dry scalp and like dandruff before I went fruit based, and I started doing this like green tea, apple cider vinegar with rosemary and lavender oil. And I'm telling you, it is so good. Yeah, the rice water I do sometimes too. I soak
Ah.
that a few days and then I just rinse it. And it's shiny and it's nice and it's strong, and it kind of smells weird. It can smell a little weird, but it works. And I don't do it a lot, but it can help, especially if you're struggling with really dryness. But like we say all the time, your diet is the best hair care, the best skincare.
Yeah, so it's like when I start using a natural product, it's not going to fix your hair. Like there has to be some foundation. It can help, definitely help, but it's like I feel like now everything that I add to my body is like a gift I have to help support it,
Right.
because what you're getting out of it, the body also has to get rid of. The only time I feel like it's not in that case is the fresh food, is you're actually just building and electrifying. But a lot of anything else that I add is usually I have to think, I do think it through. But like, it's like if people can imagine how you would feel in life if your focus wasn't the Oreos and the football game, but a bowl of cherries and laid in the grass, and you felt happier than you ever knew possible. That is what it's like to be a real vegan. Like
Mm-hmm.
when somebody asks, and you can't get that from another diet, and people are like, this healed me, that healed me. I'm like, you can tell me whatever you want about diets. It isn't just about the symptom going. I can now literally have a few lettuce leaves or celery or an apple or cherries and just lay on the grass and feel like I am just immersed and the universe is talking to me and I'm in self love. And that is why I stay raw.
Yeah. I feel I wouldn't say euphoria is the right word, but sometimes I just feel so calm and at
Yeah.
when it is as simple as eating cherries outside, because I have been doing that so often and I'm just feeling very calm and very connected, and it's just like, and the sunshine is out and it's just the blue sky. It's really the simple things in life that really feed us, feed our soul, and fuel us, and like it's easier than you think.
I like that. It's so true. I think people come with a complicated mindset and they want to transfer that complication over to the next thing that comes into their life because that's what the brain does. But it's actually this letting go and realizing that you can be so content and happy and fulfilled.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't need much, can you imagine how amazing the world would feel? Like instead of being overstimulated and oversaturated already, and nothing really gives you any dopamine anymore, is you know cut a step away from grass and you just look at the world, and I mean your view will change as to what is good and what is not, but you are just so happy for the cherries and the grass.
And one thing is about us we create a lot of content and stuff. And, I think a lot of people are constantly consuming, consuming socials, consuming news, consuming a lot of food and beverages that don't serve them. And it's just like they're constantly trying to fill something that
Very
is
true.
overflowing out of them because they're not really receiving it. But when you focus on actually rebuilding your cells and regenerating your cells and loving yourself and getting back to the simplest things like eating lots of fruits and lots of greens, and it's just like you don't feel like all this exterior or material or all these things are as important because you're
Yeah.
filled and I don't know, you don't need to fill the void because the void is filled.
That's right. And it's you filling it with it's because it's electrical, right? It's fulfilling because it's more than what you actually see. Everything else is kind of that I was filling myself with used to be dead. And I thought out of death I was going to find life. No, the only life I found was when I put life in, like those living foods, and you get that out of it. So
Yeah.
should we do one more?
Sure.
Okay. Uh What are the best sources? Did I ask this? What are the best sources of fats for raw vegans? No, so yeah, what are the best sources of healthy fats for raw vegans?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like there are a lot of personal preferences out there for people. But I mean, I guess here's what I do. I love coconut. I'm sure you do
Yeah.
too. Coconut milk, coconut flakes, coconut chunks, whatever you want. I do that a lot. Avocado, obviously. I do a lot of chia seeds, flax seeds, like almond butter, peanut butter, organic peanut butter only. Let's see. I mean, like pumpkin seeds, like hemp seeds, a lot of seeds, a lot of nuts and seeds, honestly. I mean, I don't really eat a lot of olives. I know that's a good fat source, but I personally am not like a fan of olives. I don't know. It's like an acquired taste. I guess it's not something I like that much. But yeah, a lot of nuts, a lot of seeds, and coconut and avocado, to be honest.
Yeah, I had a lot of avocado when I healed, but what I look at, so I only had the nuts and seeds for the first 6 weeks of the raw food diet. Then it was avocados because I went more into the fruits. Only avocado was the source of fat, plus a bit of coconut, but mostly avocado for years.
Mm-hmm.
And I look back at photos when I first healed, and I mean, though I changed a lot, and when I have more nuts and seeds now, is I actually feel more structured, as in like the amino acids. And I don't think you need a huge amount of amino acids or proteins that come in nuts and seeds really helps me feel protected, especially the chia and flax. I
Yes.
feel like the healthy fat of avocado really helps me. I don't know. They say it's shaped like a uterus. I don't have a uterus, so maybe that's why I need a lot. It's
Yeah.
like my
Yeah.
replacement. But I do find it is a fat, not having a stomach or top of intestines that's absorbed very easily.
Mm.
Even when seeds are blended, is I feel like it's still my gut has to work a lot.
Mhm.
So I think avocado, like people like, what's Dr. Bishy says, Fred Bishy, I don't know if he's a doctor, but Fred Bishy says an avocado a day to keeps the doctor away. And he's been doing it for 50 years. He's like in his 90s, I think. So that's something to go off. But I do feel better when I have some avocado in my diet and then like a circulation of different nuts or seeds. But I will say with my mast cell activation, I need high amounts of omega-3. So chia and flax, I would say have some avocado, make sure you're getting enough chia and flax with the high omega-3s, and then the rest of the seeds I cycle as needed. Or when it's a party, just like any person at a party, I'll have more cashews than usual, or more macadamias. This is not what I do every day, but if I'm at a party, just like any other person out in the world who goes to a party and has like treat foods, I just do the same but raw vegan. So
Right. I know that I made the raw vegan pizza yesterday and I used cashew cheese, but I rarely ever even eat cashews. I just do it to kind of try new things because it's like a good base for stuff. But this person, Koala Mom, was like, I made cashews work for me by soaking and rinsing, but to be honest, I do better without them. There's something about nuts that isn't good for me. And I had that experience when I first went fruit based and I barely ate any fats at all. Then I started incorporating more fats and it just didn't work. I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
not feeling good. I'm feeling bloated a little bit. But I just slowly added that in. And because I think I was doing a lot at once. So I just slowly added it in again and it was fine. But I don't eat a lot of like, yeah, as a base in dressings, like exactly. Like this is what I would use.
Yes.
Right. Not like I wouldn't just be eating them like that, but I try to do different nuts and seeds to see what does work best. And chia and flax, avocado and coconut, they're like my top four fat sources. I'd definitely say that. And almond butter occasionally, like
Yeah.
put in smoothies and stuff.
Yeah. I will say what I notice is you have to remember that in this diet, a lot of people are like, oh, there's not enough calories, but you can get a lot of calories very quick. One cup of walnuts, which is quite small, is almost 700 calories. It's
Wow.
quite easy to see. Yeah, it's quite easy to sit down and eat them all. What
Yeah.
I notice is you there is high amounts of sugar in fruit, but the body runs off carbohydrates, right? The problem I see in the raw diet is when you try and have a massive both of them over the course of a day. So if you get up, have some fruit and have handfuls of nuts afterwards, some dried fruit, go back, have some fat, have some fruit, is your blood sugar does not like that. You're better off if you're on a fruit-based diet, have fruit for most of the day. Sure, if you want some seeds or fat, but don't have masses of it. Like no matter what diet you're on, and a nutritionist brought this up, no matter what diet you do, if you can, you have to pick a macro. So if you are doing more veggies, you may find it, you can still do more fruits. Is
Mhm.
you just do, but if you want to get more calories from fats, you cannot do a large amount of fruit. Any diet you do in your life, not even vegan, you have people have problems when they try and combine high sugar and high fat.
Right.
So it's like if I'm doing a high omega-3 diet, I can't have copious amounts of fruit. Is if I prefer to do fruits, I have to stick to sugarier fruits. And if I want any fats, I can have them, but not as big as I was having when I was doing more veggies. And
Mhm.
I feel like if you accept that at different times you'll do different things, I feel like you do better. I feel like when any time I've thought I'm just going to do this is the answer, is I'm just confusing myself more. Is if I want to do a few days on fruits, higher fruits, do it. If the next days you do more greens, veggies, and fats, do it. Because I feel like the body then is feeling safe and it's listening. But what my point was here is I see most problems as a health coach when people are like, I started off with watermelon and then I had handfuls of macadamias and then I had some mango and they're like, and I just feel really sick and I'm putting on weight. And I'm like, that is just, yeah, that's where I see problems.
No, I know. I totally agree. So I eat primarily a low fat, fruit based breakfast, basically only fruits or like lots of juice or something. Very hydrating, very low in fat, very high in glucose. And then like most of the time my lunches incorporate some sort of higher fat source, but not like super high. Just some.
Sure.
Have a little coconut milk or like I'll have this, and like I'll have a green smoothie, for example, for like mangoes, pineapples, and like coconut milk, which is a little higher in fat. And then my dinner will be a little higher in fat too, but not nothing crazy because I'm on a high carb, low fat diet
Yeah.
and I feel super good and energized. So I think like well our primary source of energy is glucose, but our
Mhm.
secondary source of energy is fatty acids. So I feel like sometimes if you're doing a lot of both, they can kind of compete, right?
Yes, that's exactly what
It's
happens.
going back and forth, then you feel like sluggish. And I know I felt that
Yes.
way. That's why I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna do like lots of fruit, lots of high carb. And I don't have that problem because I figure that over time, over trial, over we have to be patient with ourselves because we can't just do something overnight and it'll work. We gotta trust the process.
That's right. To be true, to be completely honest, actually, when it comes to what I was describing, is I see this the women who have gone into menopause start to put weight on around their midsection and just continually say the raw diet isn't helping them lose weight. And then
Mhm.
when I speak to them about what they're eating, it usually is that combination I said, but I can't really speak because I'm not young and not in menopause, but it does something similar to me. But
Mhm.
I do think that the body is much better at looking after itself with fruits and nuts. You're better off doing fruit, nut, fruit, nut, fruit, nut than you are a hamburger and an ice cream and some lolly. Like, we
Oh
have
yeah,
to be realistic here. But I do notice when I work with women who are like, I can't put on weight, usually that's a combination that I see
yeah,
that rectifies itself when they pick a side, which is they're going to do more greens and veggies and um, fats, or they're going to do high carb and low fat. Is
yeah.
you that bouncing as you age? It does not.
Right. Because we like consistency, we like routine, the body. Like after trial and error, after trying stuff, like we need to kind of like settle in and then see how that actually works over time. Because you're not going to notice a difference in like a day or two. It takes weeks or months to really feel a major impact most of the time.
Yeah. And that's so true. And that's what you have to realize no matter what you choose to do, it's about the showing. All you don't worry about the results. If you
Hmm.
become results driven, you usually self sabotage because you're looking for the result. And when you don't see it, you'll be like, this isn't working. Focus on what makes you feel good and show up for it each day. And if somebody's told you something's going to make heal you and it doesn't feel good, I would go more on your feelings. If I go over my whole life, the only thing that's worked is something that feels good and heals. Nothing where someone's told me it's going to feel good. It just ends up breaking me. It's like a small indication of what's occurring is
Right,
so you want to do something that feels good. And this is like even why I suggest if you're not extremely sick is you go into the raw food slowly. You don't come from a place where you feel like this is not serving you because then I feel like your brain will find a way out.
right. You find an excuse or you find some sort of obstacle to I'm not doing this anymore, or it's not working for me. It's like it's yo-yoing, right?
Yes.
Like back and forth. And like
And there's dopamine in that is because then you jump onto the next diet and it gives you buzz because your brain wants pleasure. It does not want pain. If you feel like you're in pain, it will find a way out and you will call it too much fiber. I couldn't do it. My kids can't do it. I couldn't do it. But what you're doing is you're jumping onto something which gives you dopamine. And then you'll do it for under 10 days and then you jump again. You might jump back to raw, but that will give you a dopamine buzz. And so
right,
that's how the brain works. So you need to sit in a place where you can show up for you every day and feel good.
right, because like if you're just constantly switching back and forth and like you're just I don't know, you're just trying to get somewhere that you'll never get because you're just too focused on results. And even if you get these results, we are always in pursuit of something. Like we are never going to be fully 100% satisfied because that's just how human nature is. Like we always want the exciting thing and the different thing, and we want to feel better and look better. And it's like it's just this constant pursuit of happiness. It's like we have to just kind of, yeah, accept the pain, struggle a little bit and understand ourselves and sit in our silence and just love ourselves in a core, in the real core of everything. It's really just love.
It sure is. So, Kirby, I will clarify here we don't eat raw meat or blood. We eat raw plants, raw
Yeah,
plant-based food. So, I've actually don't think I haven't met many raw vegans, so that's not really true, but like they don't have bad breath because there's nothing rotting. It goes through like 100 miles an hour.
right.
Um,
I
which
mean,
is another reason this is the right diet, right? Is
yeah.
people eating a carnivore diet are in ketosis and it stinks. That's not normal.
Oh my gosh, yeah. The what do they call it? I don't know, the rotten egg breath or something like that.
Well, yeah, it's
It's
petrified meat.
halitosis, which is an imbalance of good and bad bacteria because it's so acidic that it limits your body. It limits the saliva production, which causes dry mouth, which causes, yeah,
Yeah, a
imbalance of
whole
bacteria.
and also like we'll stay high vibe. We won't go there. So that was just to clarify that we don't want to go down that route. That's
Definitely
how
not.
that's how we do this. So I was also going to say, do you want to the next live that we do still do answer questions, or do you want to do a different a topic? What do you think?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I like the questions, but I feel like our comments are always open to questions. So either way, we're going to get a little sidetracked. So, which is a good thing because that's how conversation flows. Yeah, I mean, we can go over some things like different sort of content ideas. Oh, I had an idea that you and I should do a podcast with Kiko, like me, you, and Kiko. One,
Sure.
and I had a idea in mind, and now I can't think about it. I don't know. I'll have to message you about that, but I think that would
Yes,
be
do that
fun.
for sure. Yeah,
Mm.
for sure. Um, okay, actually, Kiko and I, after on we were at the live Europe party and it finished and she goes and everyone had left, she goes, Skye, and I like stopped and I'm like, yes, because she thought I was going to leave, and I'm like, and we started talking, we did not stop laughing, and the funniest things, and we're sharing, she's making food and I'm sharing this, and she's like, imagine everyone saw this. I'm like, probably people would like this even more because it's like us and this like calamity, like helping each other, but like it was just, and so yeah, she's amazing.
I love that. It's like a live FaceTime. That's fun though.
Yeah, because we do so many lives, she's like, I'm like, people should see this. This is hilarious. Because I'm like, I don't have that. I don't do that. She's like, I'm like, they need to see this. I said, I don't hide this. This is just not a topic that's come up.
Yeah. I don't know,
So
but yeah, we'll think about it, but I think maybe changing it up. Although I love the questions, I think we could come back to that. Maybe do like a sort of topic that like I don't know, relationship with food, or like the love mindset versus like the self-sabotage mindset, or like something like that. That I mean, we can go on forever about a lot of different topics. So like something very specific maybe. But either way, we're going to just
so
talk.
I always feel like with you, I could talk about consciousness and love and that relationship with
Yeah.
the food forever. But the whole thing I find, and I think our audience is pretty high vibe, is if someone's in a dense reality, when you start going like it's all self love and this food equals self love and what you get out of yourself is self love, and essentially we do this because of love, is it's a language. I was saying this yesterday. It's like someone speaking Chinese to a German.
Mhm.
Like people can't hear it or understand it. So that's why, especially when you first start doing lives and podcasts, a lot of what you do, you're like, I healed my knee, because that's a language that most of the world understands. But I think our audience is pretty open to.
Yeah. Yeah. They
Uh,
While Mama said it could be a topic, then Q&A after.
That's a
After
good idea.
in
So is in like we do the talk and then we open the floor. So we kind of do that when the women's health podcast. So we talk on it. We have someone speak and then we do talk on it, and then we have the floor open for people to just ask us questions.
I mean, that's a good idea. Yeah,
Yeah,
about
but
the
we'll
topic.
take questions as we go too.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll
So
think about that.
all right, well, we will see you all soon. It was such a pleasure, Miranda.
Yes, always. It was fun. Thanks for all the questions and comments, guys. Wait, there's
Yes.
one more. Kelly
Yeah.
asked about medical medium. We talked about this though before.
Yeah. So I will just say that so my take on it is, and I say this very often, is I resonate with people that I'm like attracted to. Like when I hear them talk, Dr. Morse was someone who just his talking, I could sit in the space. Medical medium, it feels like nails against my skin. I don't know what he says, and I say this is probably a lovely person, but that to me is an indication that information is not for me. That's all it is. It's nothing against the person. There's other people who are like that. It's just
Yeah.
that's what I think. I have a lot of celery juice. I love it. I don't know. There's something to it, and maybe like he attracts who he's meant to attract, but it's not for me. So
I completely agree. I think like there are great things happening within that community, but it's like I personally don't feel drawn to him
yeah,
or what he teaches, but you know, a lot of I was at the library and I saw a medical medium cookbook and I was searching through it a little bit. There's some great things. And I'm not saying there's not anything bad, but we gravitate towards what we're meant to gravitate to, like you said. And
yeah,
if we
yes,
don't gravitate towards it, that's fine. But if they do and it actually does help them at a deep level, then that's amazing. I have
yeah,
nothing against that either.
yeah. It's the absolutes. So I am someone who realized I healed because I did everything for me and what I did doesn't sit with other people. So if I wrote a book about it myself, I don't want you to do what I did,
Yeah.
besides the fact of listening to my body. And when someone deals in absolutes, like this will heal this, and there's no room for variation,
Yeah.
to me, that's exactly what I got away from that saved my life. So that I think is a foundation. Plus, when people have had mast cell or shingles, a whole lot of people come at me like, medical medium says to do this. Now, if I did that, I would end up with rashes all over me because I'm allergic to dry herbs. So there's many reasons, but to be honest, the first one is that I go with vibrational energy, and that is that I can't listen to the voice. Like I can't. I've tried, and I can't sit in that space. And that's not that he's bad. It's, to me, it's the frequency is not meant for me.
Same.
So,
Yeah, if
so
you're
this might explain something. Maybe that's this might explain something. I didn't. Just something about it is all like, yeah, it feels hard. It feels like nails on my skin. Like you become so. I think we're already sensitive. The souls that come into a high raw and raw diet, but then you start to be around someone, you're so adamant you can't stand it. It's not that I can't stand it. It literally feels painful, and to me, that means that the frequency is not for me.
Yeah, I agree.
So.
Totally.
All right, guys, we will see you next time.
Yes. Okay, I'll see you guys later, and thank you, Skye, again.
Thanks, Miranda. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Bye, guys.
Bye.